This is Daily Indian News Podcast from IDN Podcast Service.
This podcast is hosted by Jeff in August. Today's stories are:
Coronavirus live updates, total lockdown every Sunday in Karnataka from the 5th of July. India moves air defense missile systems into eastern Ladakh sector. From 1 lakh to 5 lakh COVID-19 cases in 39 days, medical experts point to increased testing. ASEAN takes position versus China's vast historical sea claims. Swarms of locust cloud over Gurugram, parts of Delhi on high alert. Russia loyalty charges returns to haunt traitor Trump.
Coronavirus live updates. Total lockdown every Sunday in Karnataka from the 5th of July. India's COVID-19 tally crossed 5 lakh mark with yet another highest single-day spike of 18,552 new cases. The country recorded 384 fatalities in last 24 hours, taking the nationwide toll to 15,685. India moves air defense missile systems into eastern Ladakh sector. An Indian fighter jet flies over New Delhi, amid heightened Chinese fighter aircraft and helicopter activities along the line of actual control. The Indian Armed Forces have deployed their advanced Very Quick Reaction Surface 2 air missile defense systems in the eastern Ladakh sector. As part of the ongoing build-up in the sector, the air defense systems of both Indian Army and the Indian Air Force have been deployed in the sector to prevent any misadventure by the Chinese Air Force fighter jets or the People's Liberation Army choppers there, government sources told ONE. In the last couple of weeks, the Chinese forces have brought in heavy air superiority aircraft like the Sukhoi 30 and its strategic bombers to the rear locations which have been detected flying near the Indian territory, maintaining the 10-kilometer plus distance from the boundary.
30-second sponsorship ad.
If you haven't about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make podcast. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, ABD, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
Powered by Anchor.
From 1 lakh to 5 lakh COVID-19 cases in 39 days, medical experts point to increased testing. New Delhi, it took 110 days for coronavirus infections in the country to reach 1 lakh, while just 39 days more to go past the 5 lakh mark. Medical experts have pointed to the ramped up COVID-19 testing, now available more extensively and at a reasonable price, as a big reason for the spike in cases recently. 6 days after recording 4 lakh infections, India's COVID-19 tally went past the 5 lakh mark on Saturday with the highest single-day surge of 18,552 cases, while the death toll climbed to 15,685. According to Union Health Ministry data, the COVID-19 caseload increased to 508,953, while 384 fatalities were recorded in the last 24 hours. The updated figure at 8 a.m. showed this was the 4th consecutive day when coronavirus infection increased by more than 15,000, while there has been a surge of 318,418 infections from the 1st of June till 27. Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh are the top contributors to the rising tally. It took 64 days for COVID-19 cases in India to touch the 19th of May, 1 lakh mark from 100 cases, and another fortnight to cross 2 lakh cases on the 3rd of June. It took 10 days for the tally to touch the 3 lakh mark and another 8 days for the cases to climb to 4 lakh. The nationwide lockdown was first imposed on the 25th of March for 21 days in a bid to contain the spread of the novel coronavirus. The lockdown was first extended till the 3rd of May and then again till the 17th of May. It was further extended till the 31st of May. ASEAN takes position versus China's vast historical sea claims. Manila. Southeast Asian leaders said a 1982 UN Oceans Treaty should be the basis of sovereign rights and entitlements in the South China Sea, in one of their strongest remarks opposing China's claim to virtually the entire disputed waters on historical grounds. The leaders of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations took the position in a statement issued by Vietnam Saturday on behalf of the 10-nation bloc. ASEAN leaders held their annual summit by video on Friday, with the coronavirus pandemic and the long-raging territorial disputes high on the agenda. We reaffirmed that the 1982 UNCLOS is a basis for determining maritime entitlements, sovereign rights, jurisdiction and legitimate interests over maritime zones, the ASEAN statement said. The leaders were referring to the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, a 1982 international agreement that defines the rights of nations to the world's oceans and demarcates stretches of waters called exclusive economic zones where coastal states are given the right to exclusively tap fishery and fuel resources. Swarms of locust cloud over Gurugram. Parts of Delhi on high alert. New Delhi, the skies over many parts of Gurugram turned dark on Saturday as swarms of locusts descended on the town, with several parts of Delhi put on high alert. The dark cloud of locusts, spread across 2 kilometers, crossed the suburban city, touched the Delhi-Gurugram border. Huge swarms of locusts have now reached Gurugram and covered large tracts of the region in Haryana. The swarms moved from west to east. They entered Gurugram around 11:30 am. KL Gurjar of the Locust Warning Organization, Ministry of Agriculture, told PTI, the pests, he said, were headed towards Palwal in Haryana, alarmed at the invasion of the locusts, which settled on trees, rooftops and plants. Many residents of Gurugram shared videos from their high-rise perches. Swarms of locusts were seen in condominiums such as Beverly Park, Garden Estates and Heritage City as well as buildings in Secunderpur in the high-rise town bordering Delhi. Russia loyalty charges returns to haunt traitor Trump. Washington. A leaked U.S. intelligence assessment that Russia secretly offered Afghan militants bounties to kill U.S. troops and the White House sat on this knowledge rocked the Trump administration on Saturday, igniting renewed questions about what stranglehold Moscow has on the U.S. president. Trump had barely overcome the tag of being a Russian stooge after months of probe into such allegations when the issue resurfaced following reports that an arm of Russia's military intelligence agency crew initiated attacks on U.S. troops through militants in what would be tantamount to payback for what the US did to Moscow in the 1980s. Islamist militants, or armed criminal elements closely associated with them, are believed to have collected some bounty money, the New York Times, which first reported the story, said. It revealed the intelligence finding was conveyed to the president and the White House's National Security Council discussed the problem at an interagency meeting in late March, but no action had been taken on a menu of options, including an escalating series of sanctions and other responses. The Russian embassy in Washington responded strongly to the report, calling it fake news that threatened the lives of Russian diplomats. Baseless and anonymous accusations of Moscow as mastermind behind killing of US soldiers in Afghanistan have already led to direct threats to the life of employees of the Russian embassies in Washington, D.C. and London, it said in a tweet tagged tonight. The Taliban in Afghanistan also denied the report, essentially saying it was killing Americans on its own accord without instigation from Russia, but that changed after our deal with the Americans, and their lives are secure and we don't attack them.
That's it, it's from India Daily Podcast Service. Thank you.